Hello Flosstube friends, I'm Nancy Joy Trower. I'm the stitcher with the laughing face, and this is Flosstube number 26. Today is August 27th and I have 1 week until school starts. Technically, I have meetings tomorrow and Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's Wednesday. I still don't know what day of the week it is. And I was in my classroom yesterday. I'm actually going to head out there in just a little bit, but I figured if I didn't do my Flosstube this morning, it would be like another week before I got it done, and it's been way too long. So thanks for stopping by to see what I've been up to. It's been a busy past couple of weeks. I always mean to stick to 2 weeks and then something happens and don't get it done when I want to. This time it was a lot of quilting, and so there'll be quilting at the end. I had my birthday, which was lovely. We were going to go to one of our favorite places and go hike at Letchworth, which if you ever come to New York, Letchworth is definitely on your must-do list. It is sometimes called the Grand Canyon of the East because it is absolutely spectacular. So we were going to hike that, but it wound up raining. So I think we might do that this coming Monday on Labor Day. And who knows, maybe even some of the leaves will have started turning by then. If you see it in fall, it's really, really lovely. But huge waterfalls, beautiful canyon to walk through. It's very, very fun. So we wound up having a board game marathon, and then we went to Bob Evans for dinner because that's our place, and cake, and it was a very fun day. We had a good time. We just got back from a wedding in Wisconsin. One of the nephews got married, and so I was sewing my little fingers off for about the 2 weeks before we left because we also had a brand new great niece, however you want to call it. Our oldest niece had a baby, so I have 2 quilts to show at the end, and I'll show you those because I know not everybody's a quilty person, but I did a lot of quilting, so not quite as much stitching as I would have liked to have been. But yes, back to school. I was in yesterday, got a good portion of my ELA coffee classroom done. Haven't really touched the library yet. It's a much bigger room, and there's also the fact that I will go shopping this week and spend about $1,000 on books at the bookstore, and then I got to process all of those and put them into the computer and get them ready to check out. But that's actually really fun. I love going to the bookstore. I ask them for a V-cart, and sometimes the people who don't know me, because the managers do, the people who don't know me be like, okay, like, how do you know what a V-cart is? And then I fill it, and then I check out, and it takes a while, but it's quite fun. So that's always fun to look forward to. Kind of waffled the last couple weeks, like, am I ready to go back? Do I want to go back? I don't really want to go back still because summer is lovely, you know, and we got to just hang out with my husband and binge watch whatever. Right now we've been watching SEAL Team. I think we're on season 4, you know, the one with David Boreanaz. And disc golf and stitch and quilt and read and all that good stuff, and it's hard to let that go. But I think it'll be a good school year. They did hire somebody to teach 7th grade ELA, so I will only have 8th grade ELA and the library, and that means I can actually do more stuff for the library because I'll have the time. I'm actually planning on doing a big unit with our outdoor ed teacher about wolves, having read that book that I got when we were in Yellowstone, and just it's incredibly fascinating when you look at how the wolf as a keystone species literally changed the park when they reintroduced them in the 1990s. They had been gone from the park. The last wolf was killed in 1920, and then they reintroduced them in 1996 because, the elk population ran out of control. That's what happens when you don't have the apex predator around. So the elk were basically destroying the park. They were eating too much stuff. So plants weren't growing, trees weren't growing, and by bringing the wolves back, they lessened the population, obviously, of the elk, but they eat other things besides elk. But they kept them more contained in certain areas of the park instead of them just running free. So trees grew back, which means birds came back, and wildflowers and butterflies and insects, and creeks weren't being eroded because there wasn't the root structure to hold on to the dirt from the trees. Really fascinating. So we're going to do some cool stuff with that. And I also want to look at wolves in literature and fairy tales and folk tales and mythology. And I think that'll be really kind of fascinating and fun. That'll be for our oldest students, our middle school kids. And I got a couple other ideas. I did a webinar a couple weeks ago that It's like, oh, this would be fun to do. So hoping it'll be a good school year. It definitely will be less hectic and less survival mode than last year. So I think it'll be good. Buffalo Bills coming back soon. I got my shirt on today because we actually have a supply drop off. So when I'm at school today, I will see family. So I was like, I'm not wearing my shorts with the holes, and I'll wear a Buffalo Bill shirt. We have our family fantasy football draft on Friday, so that's very fun. We're doing that again this year. So looking forward to doing that with the family. All right, so besides all my crafty, just hanging out, squeezing that last drop of deliciousness out of summer, the last month we have actually been working on the craft room. Yay! I'm so excited. So I'm actually going to be inserting a whole bunch of little snippets and photos today. So a lot of editing for me later. I'm going to do that when I get home tonight. But I figured I'd shoot it now because by the time I get home, I'll be tired and sweaty. I won't miss sweating when summer's over. I don't know. It's a perimenopause thing or what, but it's bad. I don't know how you guys live in Florida and Texas and everywhere else that like Alicia, and don't know how you guys do it. But anyway, so the craft room. So when Sam moved out, I put some stuff in it, and it was usable, and I put my fabric in the closet and being able to see my fabric. I've actually been using it, which has been really great quilting, but also for finishing and stuff like that. And I had a table out with a whole bunch of stuff on it. And then I had a table where I was working, and it was good, but it wasn't my vision because I have 3 shelving units downstairs in what was my crafting space. And it's in like 4 different places in the house right now. You know, the table that you're sitting on is covered with scrapbooking stuff, and it's on the front porch because I didn't want it in the basement, but it all needs to go in one place. So I'm very excited that we're able to get started. The main thing was that we had to fix the shower. The shower was the handle where you control the temperature. You could either freeze to death or scald. There was really no in between. So something was wrong with the mechanism, and we needed to actually cut a hole in the wall from the bedroom to get to the plumbing. We also had to fix the faucet because the diverter was broken. So even when you had the little tabby thing up for a shower, there was a ton of water coming out of the faucet. I found it annoying, and I'm very curious to see how our water bill changes after having it fixed. So it's all fixed. The hole has been patched, and Phil has been spending the last couple, we're gone for the wedding and stuff, but he's been working on patching the holes, smoothing over a lot of damage to the walls. It was Sam's bedroom. You figure he must have rolled over and like smacked his knee or his head into the wall because there were like dents in the plaster, and there were cracks in the ceiling. So Phil's been doing a lot of repair to the walls. And so this is what it looks like this morning. And I think this is what it's going to look like when I get home. I think he's painting today. Hopefully he's painting today. But he was going to prime it and get it ready so that we can turn it pink. So excited. So I have been doing a couple little videos along the way. I hope to put together something. So first I'll do like a little short that's here's, with everything in the room all the way to the pink walls. And then I'll start doing little short videos about getting everything organized in there so you can see, because it's not a huge space. So hopefully it'll help other people who don't have a huge space think about how they can utilize it well so they can get all their stuff in there. But I'm super excited for that. Also because right now all the stuff is in my dining room. Yeah. I did organize quite a bit when I took everything out. Because you know how it is. You craft room, it's like, oh, I'll just toss it in there. And then you wind up with piles of stuff. So everything got organized as I pulled it out. I have a whole bunch of these baskets that I got from Dollar Tree. And so those are labeled. And then just other storage containers I had. So things are labeled so that I can put them away easily when the time comes. So hopefully that'll be soon. So I'll have to be a little bit like, you know, every weekend or so I'll have to be working on stuff. I did start on something for the paper because I do have quite a bit of paper in the basement still. Some of it's scrapbooking stuff, but some of it is stuff that we brought home from my dad's house when we had to empty it. So there's like my old yearbooks and old scrapbooks from when I was a kid, and I'm worried about the mustiness of the basement. So I did see something. I looked it up on the internet. You know, sometimes most of the time you can trust it. So one way to get mustiness out, I mean, fabric is easy. You wash it with Arm & Hammer baking soda detergent, which that stuff is awesome, and you're pretty good to go. That really does work very well on getting smells out of everything that I've had down there. And I washed almost everything last year when I brought it up from the basement out of bins and hung it up and put it in the closet. Can't really wash the paper. And there's unused scrapbooks. There's all sorts of things down there. There's magazines that I'm probably going to go through and tear out what I want and chuck the rest, but there's a lot of stuff down there. So one of the suggestions I found was to take a big plastic bin, put the paper products in it, and put in an open box of baking soda, close it up, and leave it for about a week. So we're going to see how that goes, and I'm hoping that that will work so that when I am ready to move stuff, you know, start loading stuff into that room, I'll have a lot of that salvaged so that it's, you know, I will know what has to just get tossed and what can be saved and what can be kept. So cross your fingers. Hopefully that works. All right. So let's get on to Stitchy stuff. So I do have some FFOs. I have one finish, a bunch of whips. I have some Stitchy goodness. I had some an amazing package sent to me by my friend Kay Helland, and I'm still just in awe, like astounded at how generous she was. I won a prize from Nicole, so I'll have all that to show you, and I'll do the quilting stuff at the end. All right, so let's get started with FFOs. So in the month of August, I tried to do like a topic per week. So my first week was farm stuff. I had a couple cute little farm things already, and I wanted to add to that. So the first one is Bless This Farm, and that is from Stitching with the Housewives. And I had this little barn from the Dollar Tree, and I had wanted to use it for one of the other farms they did that was bigger. But this is a tiered tray tidbit versus the Dapper Doodad, which was more of a square, and that just didn't fit. But the tiered tray tidbit is perfect. So this is on chalkboard Monaco that I had, well, Monaco that I dyed myself to make it kind of chalkboard, and using the DMC conversion. So that's very cute. And that is sitting with, I have a chicken and a rooster that were in my grandmother's kitchen when I was growing up. So they're the very vintagey look to them. But it's nice to have them out. They were in a cupboard, and it was like, oh, maybe when the Stitchy room is done, I'm going to put some shelving on the wall and have some things on display. And I was like, maybe I'll leave them out all the time, just because, you know, it was the thing from my grandma. The other one, and I have a table, like a folding table in front of me right now that's folded up because, like I said, everything had to come out of that room and Elle had to go somewhere. So there's just stuff all over the house right now. So this is the On the Farm roundabout, and also Chelsea and Priscilla with the same piece of fabric. I was able to fit both pieces on it, and I actually have more that I can use it for something else. And this little, it's funny, the black and white checkered is getting wonky in the camera there. This little thing, it's like a little stick, and I got this at the Dollar Tree as well. Super cute. And this one I washered and magneted because I figured I would be able to do like some cute little round on here for you know, Halloween and the fall. And I just used a red star fabric that I had in my stash. Now the roundabouts, another thing that I want to do, and I do have to go to Hobby Lobby today because I need more bulletin board paper and I need black tissue paper poofs because I'm one of those teachers that put poofy things in the corners of their, and fans and whatever in their bulletin boards, and I need new black poofs because I have new green ones and the old black ones look very shabby. So I need to stop in Hobby Lobby. And they have in their unfinished wood section, they have a sign that says home, and then you have like the H, the M, and the E, and then there's a space where you can put in the different little wood symbols is what they have. But somebody on the Stitching with the Housewives Facebook group did that with roundabouts. So Chelsea and Priscilla did that beautiful thing where home with the wreaths, And they have a whole, like a couple sets. You can switch the wreaths out every month. And some people actually stitched the HME as well. Some people just did wooden letters for that. But this is smaller. And I love the idea of using the roundabouts for the O because they're so much quicker to get done. And there's so many of them to choose from. Like, it'll be so much fun to, you know, just to have something different every month. And you can certainly do one for every month because they definitely, you know, even in the summer, there's the bees and there's the farm and there's just so much cute stuff that they have. So that is something that I do want to do. Maybe I'll pick it up today, especially if the wood stuff is on sale. Cross your fingers. All right, so my last FFO was from my second week of stitching for August, which was coffee stuff. So this I did like part of the heart a couple of years ago when I first decided to do the coffee theme for my classroom. And this is from Primrose. It's But First Coffee. And their original pattern was in blue, but my classroom is Starbucks colors pretty much because, you know, it's easy that way because there's a lot of stuff I can get to go with it. So I just switched out and I did the green. And I think it's like, it's either like a 700 or I think it's 700 is the one I went with. And then I just used a little piece of brown scrap that I had and this cute green tone-on-tone fabric. And I'm going to tie a piece of twine around here. And I'm going to keep my eye out for like a coffee charm or something to hang from it. I don't know, maybe I'll even find like a brown button or something that would look really cute right there. So this is going to go to my classroom. And one of my besties at work had this really tall, skinny bookcase. And yesterday I'm like, can we trade? Because it fits right in between my windows. And it gives me more space to put stuff on display in my classroom because, you know, if I'm going to be in it for as many hours a day as I am, it needs to be like another home to me. So I've got coffee stuff everywhere. All right, so that was all my FFOs. And then I do have an FO. I blocked in my piece of paper that I usually use to back stuff. So I'll have to see if I can grab one. I did the Star of Wonder. This was a mystery stitch along from Fat Quarter Shop. So there it is, the way that they finished it. And I did mine on the opalescent Ada. Because I was looking for something that I can be working on in the car because I really only use Ada in the car, you know, and we have done 2 trips this summer to Wisconsin. We have one more coming up. So this was one of the things that I took in the car with me on our trip to Wisconsin, both of them, and then also a couple times like when we would go to Rochester for disc golfing or whatever. So I used the called for colors, except I didn't have English ivy. I used steamed broccoli. And because the steamed broccoli and the four-leaf clover are pretty close, I didn't do the, they had like another little bit of the color contrast in the leaf. I just left it open. I thought it was fine. But I think it's super cute. I can't really see that it's sparkly, but I love this sparkly Ada because it's soft. Not like other Ada that, you know, you have to like smash and it's so stiff. This is really lovely. It comes with the scalloped edge, which frays a bit when you first get it out of the tube. But after that, it's fine. But I'm thinking I don't know that I'm going to make it into a pillow, but I'm thinking about doing kind of like quilt blocks around it. So like a square in each corner and then a strip in between to kind of make it look a little bit like a quilt because that's where the inspiration came from. Although the way they have it done, I think that's a cutting board on there. That's really cute. So that is my FO. And I did finish that in the car on the way back from the wedding this week. All right. So that brings me to whips. And then I have a couple things that I've started since I saw YouTube. So let's start with whips. What is this one? Okay. So I started in July. I started the July month to month. And it went to Yellowstone with us. It went to Wisconsin with us. It's been around town. And I did I got hanging thread because I messed up in the corner over here. This is the little stand. and I kind of stalled me out a little bit. I'm also kind of not in the mood to do July right now anymore because it's going to be spooky September in a couple of days, and I'm super excited. So we do, like I said, we have one more trip to Wisconsin, so maybe I'll take it with me then and see if I can get some more work done on it. But I don't need to put it out until next July. It is super cute, though. I love it on the pine. This is the cracked pine, which is just wonderful for these because it adds to the barn feeling. I am doing it with the called for colors, except for the red, which I am using ruby slippers because look at that variegation. That's like one piece of floss. And when I was at the stitching corner, when school ended, I went, and I will be going back now that school is beginning again because now I need some more floss. I saw that when I was gathering floss, and I was like, well, we got to have ruby slippers. That's amazing. So that is where I am on July. Like I said, it might go with me in the car to Wisconsin the next time we go, but I'll probably finish that for next July. All right, so then I have some other, I had some other sales. So I was doing, and I have the picture on my iPad. So hold on one sec, let me pull that up. I was doing the sale from Historical Sampler Co. for their Mystery Halloween sale. And now that one is all done too. All the parts are out. Adorable. And I love the frame that they picked too. Super cool. So I've done a bit of work on that. Oops. And again, like I said, spooky September is coming up. So that will be one of the things that I will be working on right away. So you can't see through it. All right, so here's how, I'm obviously not as far along as other people are, but this is how much I have done. I have played a little bit with some sparkly color and some sparkly floss for the cat and the spider, and their faces are black sparkly. I also made the broom sparkly, and the ghost is glow in the dark. So I'm going to use the sparkly floss that I'm using is a toile from DMC. I found that stuff last year, and I'm using it in entirety for the Halloween Is piece from Annabella's that I started last year. That will also be part of my spooky September. And they've got a bunch of different, I used it for the roundabouts too, I think. And there's quite a few colors. So I'm going to do like the witch's dress is going to be sparkly purple and sparkly stars and stuff. I like the toile because it's not like that blending filament from Krennic or whatever. It doesn't fray nearly as much. And you know how you get frustrated because it's fraying and you cut a piece this big and you wind up using like this much. The toile doesn't do that. It's really nice to work with. So that has been coming along nicely. I also started the Hyggie holiday sale, and not a ton on that in the past month. I did do a little bit, so I think I'm going to set like a day aside to work on sale stuff, even in spooky September. But it's really pretty. This is on Molly, which I originally purchased to do the Bee Queen. Didn't start it. But I love this fabric, and I do have a lot of it left, so I'm going to be able to use it on other pieces. But I love the variegation in it. You can see it a little bit here. I'm doing the blue colorway, and it's just lovely. And I love this Molly is just lovely to work on as well. So that is that sale, and that is in my, and I don't have cross stitch bags like other people do because I don't. I have like the bags that you find at the checkout at Joann's, but this one is special. This was the bag from my cross stitching club, so I made it my name with X's, and then all the kids who were in my club signed it. So that's that bag for the Hyggie holiday sale. All right, then I have two starts. So one of the starts, oh, and here's the picture of the Hyggie. That's what it'll look like when it's done. Beautiful piece. So just love hands-on design. She's always got great stuff. All right, so put that away. And then, so the week that I was doing coffee, I did the first coffee, and then I started one from Finally a Farmgirl. And these two actually were my 24 and 24 for August that I had set myself to do. So home is coffee in one hand and a book in the other, which, you know, is perfect for my classroom. So I started working on this one, and I measured more than once. I know I did, but I think that this piece of fabric is a little small. So I'm a little worried about it all fitting on here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave off the lamp, and I'm going to change the font. So I'm going to leave the home is coffee at the top in the block, but I'm going to do, or I might even not, I'm working on how I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do this in a script so that it doesn't take the whole width because I'm leaving off the lamp. And so it'll be shorter as well. And I'm going to do the same thing at the top and move down the home is, and then coffee in one hand. And then it will be, I think I'll be okay then as far as the size goes. The other thing that I'm doing is I'm switching the green. This green is kind of an acidy green color, which doesn't really go with my classroom. I have the other, like this green. So I'm going to switch that, and I already did it in the mouse. So his little jacket is green. And then the green at the bottom will be the darker green. I'm still going to leave this like the plant color and I think the color of the book. But it just seemed like it was not the right green. I'm also using floss that I had in my stash because like I said, I do want to get back to the stitching corner, but it's kind of out of the way from where I am, but it's close to school. So I was like, I'll just go in school, and I was busy with trying to get those quilts done, so I didn't have the time to go out there. But I was like, I have so much stuff in my stash. Let's take a look. So it's a good thing Oscar the cat is almost done because this is all I have left. I had burnt orange from Shaker. What is that stuff? Gentle Art sampler threads. So burnt orange, and there's a lot of variegation in that. I thought it was great for the cat. And then this one is sweet melon. So I used those instead of the called for because I had them and it works. I think it's coming out pretty cute. I am a little stalled on it, I think, because I was worried about the size. So that's another one that it could be, even though it's spooky September, I'm going to try to get that one done so Oscar can come live in my classroom. And then my other start, yes, that's where I'm up to. Oh, 2. Sorry, there's 2 more. So when we were on our way home on the way to Wisconsin, I was working on finishing the binding on the baby quilt because I sew baby quilt bindings by hand. I don't want to miss and have like a flap from sewing it on with a machine. So that took a lot of time on the way there. And then I was working on the Star of Wonder. And I had the July one with me, but I was kind of like just not feeling it. But I also took with me the other Ada project that I have right now. So I decided I was going to try the Welcome Home on Ada because then I could stitch on it in the car. And it works really nicely in the car. You can see because it's such bright light. So that worked out pretty well. So this is how much I have done. And this was probably about 5 or 6 hours in the car on the way home. Now I don't have all the floss for it because I need to go to the store, but I grabbed what I did have. Now I'm not using bamboo. I'm just using 3865. I don't really see the variegation in bamboo, and this one calls for like 2 skeins of it, and I was like, I'm just going to use 3865. So, and then for the blue, it called for Tropical Paradise, but I had Really Tealy on hand. So, and I just like how Really Tealy is probably one of my favorite colors. So, and this one has a lot of variation. So I'm using the brighter part for the sign, and then when I get to like the end of the pieces that I'm using and it's lighter blue, I'm using those for the windows. So, because that's closer to the tropical paradise, I think. So that one, I will work on in September as well, even though we'll still be in the car for stuff because we're still disc golfing and mountain biking, and so I could take it with me then, but I am going to work on it. Oh, and I can show you what I'm going to put it on. So I keep forgetting to show you this, but I picked this up at Michael's in the summer on clearance for $7.49. And I know that Priscilla has used this. I think she used it for like a Silent Night Christmas piece. Now it has a little bit of damage over here, but I figure I've got a very crafty husband, so he can help me, and then it'll probably be covered with the stitching anyway. So I thought this would be lovely to have the stitching in the middle and then have flowers across the top. So that is my plan for the Welcome Homes. And I do have, I think I still have to get the pattern for the summer, but I have all the patterns. All right, and then the other one that I've started is actually part of haul. Since it was my birthday, I did do a little shopping. I don't have all of it here. I haven't actually finished because I'm going to the stitching corner. But I put an order in with Annabella from the Needlework. So it was one of her patterns, that new fall booklet that she has. It's beautiful. And a bunch of stuff from Primrose. So that's a big portion of my birthday. But I also got this little schoolmouse from Tiny Modernist. And it's stitching up so quickly. Like, this is literally 2 nights worth of work. Get it out of the bag. Yep, my plastic baggie. So that is last night and the night before. And I was like, oh, it's really quick. So maybe I'll get the pumpkin one because it's adorable too. Now this one, again, I was using what I had on hand rather than some of the called fors. So for the red, I'm using Color and Cotton Carmine. And the Color and Cotton just is so lovely to work with. And I don't have them on the tags because I was working on it last night. I'm using Pickle. And this is what I have left from, I did the Stitcher's Garden with the Color and Cotton conversion that Mrs. Jones and Katie, right? No, not Katie. Emily from Primrose, they did that color conversion and there was a lot left. So I was like, I'm not wasting it. It's beautiful. So it's super cute on here. It's just funny that it's both Tiny Modernist. This is Jingle Bell. And I still have another whole red that I think I'm going to use for a barn on a Primrose. And then this is Persimmon from Classic Colorwork for the little pink flowers. And so it's coming along nicely. And that's the other thing, from pulling out everything from my room, I went through all of my finishing pieces that, oh, this is cute, and you grab it and you put it in a basket and then you forget about it. So I'm excited to see, like, what do I have that I can use for the Tiny Modernist mouse? Now, I found her, I've seen her before. She's, like, all the mice are cute from Tiny Modernist. She's got great stuff. But I bought it because it popped up with like, you might also like. So I was watching Lindy Stitches for her needlework Stash Fest, like everything that was coming out, and she's such a hoot. Oh my gosh, I just love her. She's so funny. And so many great things that were being shown. So one of the things that she showed was from the company is, oh, hold on, let me get it right because it's a funny name. It's a cool name. It's Sorry. I know I'm like stalling here. Where is it? Hold on. Okay, I found it. Because I wanted to make sure I said it right. It's called Fairy Wool in the Wood is the name of the company. And she had for Nashville, or not Nashville, but for Needlework Marketplace, she had a coffee alphabet that was super cute. And of course, it was coming out in paper, and I was like, oh, well, let me go see what else she has. So I went to her Etsy site. Sorry, itchy nose, Flosstube, itchy nose. Is it like a certain time in the video that everybody's nose itches? So I went to her Etsy and I saw this. I can't find the pattern where I printed it someplace in the house right now. But oh my gosh, look how stinking adorable that is. And again, it looks like a very quick stitch. A lot of color changes, but I think it'll still go pretty quickly. So she has all these alphabets. So she has the school one, but then she also has this one. That is a Dracula one. Oh my gosh, how adorable is that? So I got those. So that's part of my birthday haul. And like I said, I have some things I ordered from Annabella, so those will be here next time, hopefully. I also picked up a 3-tiered tray on the cart. Oh, sorry. There's like a power tool or something outside. So Michael's has a sale on their Simply Tidy carts, on the 3-tiered carts. So they're normally $40. They're on sale right now for $29.99. And then I had a $10 voucher and my teacher discount. So I got it for $18. Now I went in, I was intending on getting a white one because all the furniture in the crafty room is going to be white. But they had a rose gold one. And I was like, ooh, fancy. So I got the rose gold. Really quick to put together. Super easy. And I decided to use it in the living room because I have a nest. So my husband and I sit in this little love seat, and then I have like a tray table and the table next to me, and it's like all my stuff all over. And he jokes with me, well, not really jokes, but you know, I have to use 2 tray tables sometimes. So I set it up to be my new like Stitchy nest. I don't know, the nest. So, and I love it, and it's very cute. And I figured I can just roll it out of the way, like if we have somebody over or something. So that was part of my Stitchy or birthday stitching haul as well. Okay, so I am gonna get plans. It's gonna be Spooky September. I love that Fat Quarter Shop is calling it that. It was so cute when Kimberly wore her witch hat when she showed a whole bunch of awesome Halloween stuff. So I'm actually going to do a video on, maybe not September 1st, but next weekend, and do my spooky September plans. I plan on doing a, like 1 project a week for September and October, trying to finish up a bunch of spooky stuff I already have started. And then I have a whole bunch of stuff to start. Because there's just too much good fall stuff and Halloween stuff around. So, and I am going to do that this weekend. So I'm going to pause for a second because I have Stitchy Kindness I wanted to show you. Like I said, I got this amazing package in the mail from Kay, and I also won something, and then I'm going to go into the quilting stuff after that. So I'm going to pause for 1 second, switch out my stuff, and I'll be right back. All right, so first I won a prize from Nicole Spore, which was super exciting. It's always so much fun when you hear your name be called. And I won 3 signs from Annie B's. I love Annie B's. So this is Kringle's Cocoa Bar. And I do put out a little cocoa bar every year, so that would be really cute to have it there. Gingerbread Bakery. And that is my kitchen theme. So that'll be cute to do. And then Frosty's Tree Farm. So all of those are adorable, and I really appreciate the prize from Nicole. So thank you so much, Nicole. Thank you, Annie B's. Looking forward. Oh, and it's funny because the other thing I won from Lindy Stitches was Annie B's too. All right, so then, like I said, I got this. Kay is one of my Stitchy followers, and she's been with me right from the beginning. She's always so kind. She, very encouraging. She did a sal with me where she actually finished it. I have not. But, I just could not believe it when she asked if she could send me something, and then I was astounded. This is so awesome. So she had in there, I think she had a couple kit things that she purchased and passed on things that she wasn't using. So this came to go with the, Primrose Cottage quilt, I think. Must have been in the box. Oh, goodness. Excuse me. Yes, that's how I sneeze. There's the Bee in My Bonnet stitch cards with the cute little Nomi. This one is a whole kit, so it comes with this, well, no, it's got the fabric. It doesn't have the floss, but look at, and it's got sparkly. Sorry. It's got sparkly green fabric in it, which is awesome because you know being sparkly. Oh, and wait till you see it. There's sparkly fabric in here. That is amazing. Bunny's Bakery, which must, I think this is also It's So Emma, so Fat Quarter Shop. And this is the whole kit. So this I might even use as maybe a giveaway here, or maybe one of my Stitchy students at school, because I have a couple girls in 8th grade who've been doing the stitching club with me for years, and this would be like a nice graduation present for them. Garden box. Look at that. That's beautiful. This is from Jeanette Douglas. And I don't have a lot of these designers, so it's kind of exciting because they're not things that I've purchased before. Heart and Hand Harvest Tiny Town. And I do already have this at myself, so I think I'm going to give this to my dear Stitchy friend at school. And one of the Prairie Santas, which is super exciting because I don't have those either. And then the Quilted Scarecrow with the needle minder and these little scissors. I love these scissors. I took one with me on the trip. They have like the little cap on them. So stinking cute. And I can put the needle minder on my new cart. So that's exciting. But this is one that I was originally, I thought this was the only thing she was sending because she had mentioned that she had it. And I had mentioned that I wanted to do it. I had picked out an Ada so I can work on this in the car in the fall. Absolutely beautiful. The Quilted Witch. And I want to do the Quilted Snowman too. It's so cute. So that's awesome. And I mean, all of that, I was just astounded. But then she even sent fabric too. So this, sorry about the crinkling. This is a Desert Opalescent 32 count. And oh my gosh, you can't see the sparkles in it. Maybe can if I open it. Oh, there you can see the sparkles. I was like, sure that something Halloween will look cool in that. But I got this really awesome pattern of a Christmas scene last year that I was like, that would look really cool on it. It looks like she was part of the club for stitching seasons with the Housewives. And this is thin white board. And it's 28 count even weave. Now, Kay said that she's an Ada stitcher. So anything that came with even weave, she passed along, which is just so amazingly generous. And I was like, ooh, wouldn't this look amazing for the new blooming house thing that Priscilla and Chelsea are doing. The pumpkin one just came out. I can just imagine what the Christmas one's going to look like. It's going to be awesome. There was also 2 packs of 28 count black Monaco. So that'll be cool for something that, you know, I want really dark and not just what I do myself. And then this is really cool. It's a 20 count like natural linen. And I was thinking, you know, last year Nettie from Primrose, she did the little houses that Lindsay has. You know, there was like the Thankful house, there was the Halloween house. She did them on like 10 count, and so they came out really big. I did my Halloween actually over 3 on something to make it bigger, but I was thinking, oh, the Thankful house will look really cute on that one. So, hey, I cannot not thank you enough. That was just so incredibly generous of you. So I thank you. My Stitchy friends at school will thank you, I'm sure. And so are my students, because this is just wonderful. So thank you so much for all of that Stitchy kindness. That was quite a birthday present. So thank you so much. All right. So that is all I have for stitching, but I did do a lot of quilting lately. So if you're not a quilter, I'll see you next weekend when I do my spooktacular September. Spooky September. Can't wait to get started on Halloween stuff. I don't know what it is about Me and Halloween. I have those many bins of Halloween decorations as normal people have for Christmas, and that's not including the stuff that's at school, because I have a lot at school too. My husband is in the other room. So, so I'll see you next week if you're a Stitchy person, but if you're a quilter, hang around because I have some cool stuff to show. All right, so I did a lot of quilting lately. The first one, and I'm going to have to kind of like hold up pictures and splice in videos here because I need the space to unroll it, and I can't do that on the front porch here. It's not going to work. But so the first one that I finished is the Pointsetta Log Cabin I did for my brother, my sister-in-law. It was their Christmas present for 2023. Unfortunately, I'm notorious for not finishing things on time. I'm trying to be better about it. It was almost done when I went to see them, and we actually got to celebrate Christmas. But I was not feeling well that week, and it was kind of like I could mess it all up or I could just finish it. So I finished it a couple weeks ago and can't wait to give it to them. So here is the quilty unrolling of the Poinsettia Log Cabin. All right, and then the next one was the quilt for baby, the new baby in the family. And so my niece was doing a Highland cow theme for the nursery. And so I went to the store. All I could find was the cow fabric that was just cute farm. So, so you can see that. I'm going to put the picture up here. So you can see the very cute farm. And there were a lot of cows in it. There were some other things that had like mainly pigs and mainly chickens, but this one had a lot of cows. And I liked the colors. I thought they were really bright and very fun. So I did a cow print to go with it. I did the red check because I wanted to bring out the red from the barn and kind of pop that color out from the background. And then this red, the red with the speckled, is so cute farm. I should have used it on the other farm thing I did, but that's okay. I'll use it on something else farm from, like, I do want to do the through the garden gate and the bike one, and that would be cute with that too. And then I had the blue and then the yellow stripe. So, and then of course it kind of framed it all. So I did kind of like a around, like half and around the world, kind of with the diagonal blocks. And I fussy cut the farm print so that I didn't have pictures in the middle of the blocks. And then I did the big sashing around the outside. And then did it, first of all, I can only really do straight lines in when I'm quilting because I have not worked up the courage to use the free range quilting on my sewing machine yet. Maybe that's the thing for next summer. And one of my friends said, like, start with a placemat or do something simple like that. So right now everything's in straight lines. The quilting was giving me conniptions on this one though, because for some reason the tension was off in my sewing machine. I don't know if it was the thread, and it was the same brand I used on the other quilt, and the other quilt was fine with the tension, but I was having conniptions. Because it just was coming out like a lot of little teeny tiny loops on the back, and it was like, this is the one for the baby quilt. It can't be like something she can snag on. So I had to go and redo a couple spots, and I was getting very frustrated with it. When I was ready though to go get the backing, the original piece of backing I had purchased was not wide enough by, you know, like 4 inches. Of course, that's the way it goes. So, and I only had 2 yards of it. I needed 4 to make 2 pieces and sew it to the back. So when I went to Joann's, they didn't have any more of the original backing, but they did have this adorable Highland cow fabric. So that's what I used on the back. So here is the little quilty roll down. We didn't get the whole thing. In there. We were in the hotel room because it was literally like right before I put it in the bag and wrapped everything up. All right, and then the other quilt was, I used the Primrose Cottage, the freebie pattern that they did for the picnic gingham, or gingham picnic, or whatever they called it. It was a Friday freebie, I think in July. and I liked the gingham look to it. I wanted something simple that I would be able to get done in a couple of weeks. But I also liked the border that they had on it with the different fabric accents, kind of. Of course, the original pattern was only 4 blocks that were 3 by 3, and it was like a 36 by 36 table topper. And I was like, well, that's not going to work as a gift for, people to snuggle under and curl up and have at Christmas time. So I did, I just adjusted it. I made the blocks. So here's the picture. The blocks are 5 by 5. And I did 9 rows across and 11 rows down instead of the 9 by 9 that they had in the original pattern. So it made it more of a rectangle instead of a square. So that made it, and then of course I made the sashing a little bit wider. I think I did 2.5 because then it would be, I think I actually wound up doing 2 because I had to cut it a little bit to get the big blocks on the outside to fit correctly. And so those are 5-inch wide and 10 inches long to kind of mimic what the other one was 3 by 6. So that's double what it was. So I just doubled what it was here. And so this turned out really nicely. For whatever reason, the tension was not giving me a problem. So I was able to quilt it pretty quickly, except for the darn borders. Both of the quilts on the borders, they were killing me. Because on the baby one, I did a diagonal pattern that I had to mark. And of course, that takes longer whenever you have to mark something. And then you have to wipe it off because if it's the water soluble, you have to get it off of there. And if it's the air soluble, you have to do it more than once because it's hot and humid and it goes away very quickly. So the borders took forever to do in comparison to the blocks in the middle. But they both were finished on time and I was very happy with how they turned out. So here's the roly quilty reveal for that one. And so that's what I've been up to. All right, so thank you so much for sticking with me for almost a whole hour from all of my stuff I've been up to. I hope to have craft room updates for you soon, and I will see you next week with my spooky September plans and all the goodness that I'm going to. So that'll be a very short one, but that's okay. And maybe I'll have a little mouse done by then too. So I'll see you soon. Hope you have a good Labor Day and squeeze those last bits of joy out of your summer as best as you can. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Happy stitching.